Oh my goodness, where am I? Hi everyone, welcome to another video. And this week, Umbra's going to try and be a little more positive. Umbra's in a good mood. Umbra is probably going to get people saying the contrary to whatever side he picks. And that's the honest truth of being a content creator. You know, sometimes you make people happy, sometimes you make people sad. Sometimes people just want to pick a fight, and then you just gotta do what you gotta do. So, Valentine's slash sweetheart Miranda. Can't exactly call her Valentine's for global, can we? Mainly because she's not really coming out at Valentine's, not even remotely. But anyway, this is a unit I wanted to talk about because she's actually just a character that I really have liked a lot this year. Yes, I know she's not 120, she's not 140. I kind of went in a different direction with light. I chose my battles and I need to suffer the consequences. But ironically, I think that she might be just better on global with some of the things that have transpired recently, and I'm hoping that she's going to find a good home there with lots of people who are going to use her, try her out, because she's one of those really low cost 70 units, you know, the units that come out, and at least on JP anyway, they're only like 16k free lapis to guarantee your first copy of them, which is a great deal for a brand new UR unit. I mean, if you consider just how expensive other units can be, if you have to pity them, it's nice from at least our side. And Valentine, I'm gonna call her Valentine Miranda just because that's what I essentially think of her. I mean, she's pretty cool. I like her design, as I said. I like her limit burst. It's a fun one. I don't know if there's, oh, we turned her sideways, cool. Yeah, anyway, so I guess let's not delay any longer. Let's just talk about her. So Valentine, or I really want to call her. Anyway, new Miranda. She's basically a mage type character. 3 move, 1 jump, 70 costs. She has White Mage, Grimoire Keeper, and a brand new job, Sword Sorcerer, which is kind of a unique spot for certain characters. Like, it's a katana based job, but it's a magic type damage style one. She's very good at dealing slash attack. She's very good at acquiring AP. She has a fair amount of resistances, and last but not least, her TMR is pretty good for giving an accuracy boost to herself while also decreasing chance to being targeted. So there's a good amount of stuff to like here, and there's a good chance that global will get even more of an upgrade than we potentially are already getting. Also, look at that armor rating. Oof, bad Umbra, bad, I know. Umbra's just making so many mistakes, but this is a character I have committed to, mainly because, as I've said before, I really think that light has transitioned into a very strong physical based class, whereas for global, it seems like you're going to get this kind of magic trend before you end up going physical, and we'll see how that pans out over the long run. But what's so special about this new class? Well, mostly it's about like being efficient on AP consumption, because it can generate a lot of AP and it can also decrease its own AP consumption. Big thing for its counter is countering missile damage with reducing how much damage is taken. Now, this doesn't seem very important now, but if missiles ever come back more in a big way, or maybe on global, you guys are experiencing just the missile meta still, this is pretty good for the time being. Into the future, some things to note, like Bart's secondary hit, which can be activated off of a ranged attack, is not classified as any specific type of damage, which is both good for some people and bad for others, because it essentially can get a skirt around these kind of abilities, you know. And you look at some of the high range that some units just have, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're still, and, you know, reaction block too. So all of that is problematic. She has ways of increasing up her damage. She can increase her agility magic while also reducing the amount of physical damage taken. She can give herself auto revive, which, I've seen some people say, oh, Immortal Spirit off Paladin isn't particularly that great anymore because it doesn't do enough, and that's an interesting point. So this one with also getting an auto re-raise, auto re-raise, just re-raise, is getting AoE resistance too, so it makes her a little more capable of being, damaged and still surviving. She can break magical barriers, which is good for if she's going with other magical units, and also has a fairly high range on it. We'll also get in some slash attack resistance penetration. And last but not least, Dispel Immortal Spirit. There you go. While also dealing a 200% mod on a single. So she has some single target attacks, some multi-target attacks. She's capable of boosting both herself and allies for magical and agility, which is valuable. She can potentially give herself some abilities such as Shell and a barrier and AoE resistance to make herself more durable. I think all of this is great. And that's kind of it. Like Grimoire Keeper and White Mage gives her a few extra things. Like she gets Holy and she gets Raise, but she doesn't get like the more powerful version of Raise. You can act as a light debuffer with her Limit Burst. I mean, there's a lot of positive things that I think here. It's just JP kind of quickly shifted more towards physical and was kind of in the middle of shifting more towards physical. So at the time, Sweetheart Miranda seemed to fill kind of a interesting niche that was pretty cool. Just couldn't really compete against the other stuff. So why am I particularly interested in this character? Well, that, as well as what's happened in the previous week. This makes Addison make a little more sense. At the time, I wasn't overly convinced about that was the best combination, but or was going to be even a thing, but it might be. So Miranda Sweetheart is potentially pushing more towards that light magical. And taking a really quick look, the global upgrade is also giving her, a little bit more of a push. So taking a look at this, because this doesn't exist on JP, so that's interesting. A 70 cost VC that is a job VC, sword, red mage, katana, bow, and gloves. So nice that there is some synergy between this and the previous week. So sword, red mage, katana, bow, and gloves. And remember, Miranda is a katana user. So accuracy up and acquired AP up makes Miranda better at what she was already doing, but also potentially good for others. And the bestowed effect is magic up, which works on her or on another unit too. Slash attack resistance up, I'm so on because it's resistance. It helps you survive some of the time, but if the other unit is just meant for getting through slash resistance, then no, it's so. And the limited bestowed effect is kind of nice. Slash attack resistance piercing rate up and area attack resistance up. But 2 for that's given to our new Miranda, regular Miranda, Revies, and Winter Revies. Kind of wish this extended just a little bit further, but it's good activation up. And this feels better just because it is powering up her DPS and making her stronger, which I think is quite nice. And the artwork is just great too. I'm assuming that this is not going to be limited for global, as I didn't see anything that suggests that either of these characters are limited. Again, a little confusion between global and AP, just switching back and forth. But I like this new vision card. And going back to Miranda's VC for a second, I mean, that is another glove VC, and it is another magic one. And boy, oh boy, does it come really close to actually being very strong synergy, because you look at it and it's the red mage sword class, daggers, that's a bit of a miss, and gloves and books. If only it had been katana, it would have been, or like, these two could have been best friends and potentially been a really strong light magical team that is based more on job VCs than the other. So God, just where do I land on this? I really want this character to kind of be good, because light magic is cool. It's always going to be a host to Yuna, who I don't know. I guess I have strong positive memories about of just Yuna in her prime really wrecking stuff. And the Silver Memories VC, which is job VC that gives a 60% magic attack up, it does work for fists, it does work for books and great swords. It just doesn't work for, and canes as well, but it doesn't work for katanas. So it's very close. Overall, I don't think that Miranda is necessarily a must-have character. Let's put it that way. I think she's an awesomely cool character, and I hope that one day she's really gonna find a groove, because she's just I like her. I like her. That's the end of my general thoughts on her. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to talk too long about this. I think it's a good value unit. It's not my favorite value unit ever. That's always going to be Halloween Lucia. And there is some interesting crossover here where you could potentially run Addison and then just fill in with light VCs, magic VCs, and have a plentiful offensive team. Maybe do some weird stuff where you put, if you can fit another, I'm just trying to think, another like sword magic class in there that's a little more tanky than to protect these units, then that also might just be really successful, because not a ton of teams, at least from where we are, feel like they're focusing on magic. So there might be some interesting blind spots there to get in. And Celeste isn't everywhere right now. That also makes magical units value go up. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for me. As you may have guessed, there's something happening this week. I'm excited for it. Of course, that is the fact that the new Flash movie is out. But yeah, I will not be streaming until Thursday, and I refuse to elaborate any more on that. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. JP news will still come later, whenever we get it, but expect mostly a quiet week for JP.